these lights. I'm gonna have to turn them down, child. They're making me squint terribly. Let me send this out. Come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Happy Feminine Friday. Come on in, come on in. Oh, wait, I'm gonna have to turn this light, y'all, another way, because there's too many lights on. That's what I think. Hi, Lovey. Happy Friday. Happy Feminine Friday. Y'all, I'm gonna pause y'all for 1 second, because one of these lights gonna have to come off, because they got my eyes like, ugh, I feel like they're about to water. So give me 1 second. Okay, let's try that on besides. That's better. I'm still gonna push this light a little bit back further. Put a 1 in the comments if y'all can hear me clearly while I adjust my little light. I got a lot to do. I gotta adjust this light. I gotta elevate my ankle because my ankle is still healing. And I wanna make sure I don't. Okay, let me get this closer to me with the pillow. Good deal. Perfect. Ooh. So that's not gonna stand there like that. Let's see. Can we do that? I think that might work. Praise God, because that's gonna stress me out. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Let me know in the comments where you are watching from. And share this with another amazing woman leader. Because what we're going to be talking about today is that we're going to be talking about the Muse Unleash. And what that looks like is how to lead without losing yourself. Okay? How to lead without losing yourself. And we're talking about leading. This could be leading in the home. This could be leading in business. This can be leading in corporate. It could be wherever it is that you are leading. A lot of women tend to lose themselves when they tend to gain another role or shift positioning. And I tend to notice that a lot with women who get married. I see that a lot with women in motherhood. I see that a lot with women who become CEOs. I see that a lot with women who else do I see it heavy in? CEOs, married women, mothers. It's another group that I'm missing. But women have once they get certain titles, it seems like they begin to engulf themselves in that specific role, and then they end up losing their identity, much like, and I don't know if y'all have seen the video of the young lady who came on and she was crying and she was talking about how she's married and she just doesn't know if marriage is worth it, and she's married to a really good guy and she still doesn't know if marriage is worth it, yada yada yada. You know, and she was just kind of expressing that she'd been married for 7 years and that's how she was feeling. I've been married before, so there is such a thing as a 7-year like itch that people say. I like to call it, once you're 7 years in, to be honest, and I got divorced at year 8. It was done at 7 though, we knew. But there's something that happens at year 7 that I like to call the veil falls off. And you go through that kind of scenario a couple of times in marriage. It can happen at like 7. It can happen another time. You're always growing. And what I don't think people understand about marriage is this. When you get married, you're not going to be the same person. But that does not mean that you have to lose yourself in that experience. Okay? So that's something that's extremely important, extremely vital for you to understand. You don't have to lose yourself in the experience. You don't have to lose yourself in being a CEO. You don't have to lose yourself in motherhood. You don't have to lose yourself in marriage. You don't have to lose yourself in any of those scenarios. And I think women get that very, very confused, and they become very resentful. As women, we have 2 choices. We either get bitter or we get better. And it all boils down to the decisions that you choose to make with your life, and when it comes down to yourself. Women have to understand that being in a marriage, being in a relationship, making six figures, none of these things are going to bring you happiness. You understand? None of these things are guaranteed to bring you happiness, and nor are any of these things responsible for your happiness. You know who is responsible for your happiness? You. You are the number one line leader in your life experience. Everything else is doing only what you're telling it to do. Okay? It's only doing what you're telling it to do. I'm telling people how I want to be treated. No, but you're showing them. You're telling them how you want to be treated by the way you treat yourself, by the way you let them get over on you, by the way you let everybody else get over on you, the way you don't confront things within yourself and you say, oh, I don't like confrontation. It's not that you don't like confrontation. You got a little bit of a underlying fear of conflict. But there's always ways to resolve conflicts. But if you think that you're going to be able to run around this world and not confront self, you're going to be forced to meet yourself and everyone else until you do. And these are the things that I don't think that women think about. That are very, very important. When you get in a relationship and you start being drained and you realize that you're being drained and all that, the first thing you need to know is that you lost the plot. And the plot is always you. And women can't afford to lose the plot. You can't. You cannot put your trust. Nobody told you to even do this anyway. But you are not here to put your 100% trust in human beings. That is a concept that society developed to be able to trick you, manipulate you, to get you to buy into the things that they selling. Like I told you on that live a couple of lives ago, it's on my YouTube. The game is to be sold and told. They selling you something, but they also telling you something. And if you ain't paying attention, you too busy buying in, you're going to miss it. Because nobody can play you without your permission, participation, the fact that you are not paying attention. And let me put you on game on something else. Because I talk about this quite a bit. When we're talking about influences or demonic influences or things like that, all those things need invitation. Even the things that are happening right now in society with certain governments and certain countries, understand that before they do anything to its people, there's always some form of a warning. It may be put in a movie. It may be a little bit of truth wrapped up in a whole bunch of other foolishness. But nobody can play you without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you are simply not paying attention. And a lot of people are not paying attention because there's a lot of circuses going on and a lot of bread being given out. And if you don't know about circus and bread, you might want to go on and do a little research on circus and bread. You can probably type that. You can search that probably in Google and get a little bit of information on that. But women are losing the plot. Therefore, they are losing them, meaning they are losing themselves in relationships and marriages and roles. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You are your number one responsibility. Okay? And so I'm going to talk about that today. So we're talking about, like I said, the Muse Unleashed. Okay? How to lead without losing yourself. All right? Hi, Lovey. So for those who don't know who I am, my name is L. Antoinette. I am an energetics and identity mentor. And what I do specifically is that I mentor visionary women. So when I say I mentor visionary women, I mentor women who are longevity minded, women who are legacy minded, women who understand that they have a vision for their lives and they're willing to align their thoughts, their energy, their efforts, their attention towards achieving exactly the life that they truly desire, whether that looks like them being in healthy marriages, whether that looks like them, becoming high earners in their business, whether that looks like them just being able to monetize their very existence by being simply a muse. Whatever that looks like for them, that is how I support my clients because they already know that they have a vision. I don't work with visionless women. Visionless women don't know where they're going, so which is why they continue to go in circles. Women that come to work with me are tired of going in circles. Women who come to work with me want clarity. Okay? Women who come to work with me want results. All right? And they get them. Okay, so when I say I mentor visionary women to dissolve, what I help them do is I help them dissolve invisible ceilings. Okay, what are invisible ceilings? These blocks that you feel like you have, these curses that you believe that you are under. I help you unravel all of those things. What is that? How have I been able to do that? What's been the results for my clients? I've taken monetary results. My clients have gone from 5 figures to 6 figures. My clients have gone from, 6 figures to multi 6 figures, still using the formulas that I taught them in years ago. I have clients who literally have gone from making extremely no money in their business to getting almost 15,000 in less than 30 days. I have women who've come to work with me who become masters of their emotions, so they no longer attract men who drain them. They actually attract men that are dedicated and devoted to them. So I support my clients in becoming masters of their energy and motion, which is your emotions, okay? I've also supported my clients in becoming healthier. My clients have lost as low as 20 pounds and have gone as high as 80 pounds. My clients have been able to reverse liver damage. My clients have been able to reverse heart damage. I am not a medical professional. Don't get it confused or twisted. I am an energetics and identity mentor. I understand energetics on a level. I understand that your anger is going to ruin your liver, because one of my modalities is I'm an energetic psychology practitioner. So I understand how your emotions impact your organs and how it makes you sick. I also understand being rooted in your identity and why it's so important. Because when you live in a society like this of today, if you don't know who you are, you will have to choose an identity, much like a character in a game, to assimilate in this society. And when you choose that character that you're going to portray for a while, thank you, my love, for these likes and these gifts, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to realize that you can't keep wearing that mask. And then you have what's called a midlife crisis or a breakdown, right? But you're really not in crisis. Society told you that you were a crisis because a whole lot of people start losing it right around that time between, 38 to 40 something, or they start losing it a little bit between, it's getting younger now, between that 28 to 30. You have that thing where you're having this crisis about your identity and who you're supposed to be based on what you've been taught, all that other crap. But the reality of the situation is that you're not having an identity crisis. You're not having a midlife crisis. What you're having is an initiation. You're being initiated. You are being blessed with the opportunity of initiation. And that is one of the best things that can happen to you. And it's like, even though it may feel like one of the worst things in the moment, okay? It is one of the best things because you get to make a decision to do something completely different. An initiation means what have you been doing right now is no longer working. That's what that means. You have an opportunity. You've reached a fork in the road. Are you going to continue on this path? Because it's going to make you sick. It's going to impact your quality of life. It's going to probably even shorten your life. Do you want to go down this path, or would you like to go down this path? Yes, it's a little scary initially. Yes, you don't really know what the outcome is. Yes, you have to fully surrender and you have to trust. Yes, you have to be consistent. Yes, it's probably going to be one of the hardest things you ever do. But yes, it's probably going to be one of the best things that you ever do, because the results that you get from it is going to be everything that you have desired. So, it's real simple. You either are going to pass the initiation or you're going to fail. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Or you're going to fail. So when I say women come into spaces, we dissolve all these invisible ceilings. We get rid of all of that. Because truthfully, you can only go as high as you're thinking, and you can expand as wide as your circle. And if you use that, what I just told you right there, that's going to tell you a whole lot about why your life is the way it is right now. Your thinking and you can only rise as high as your thinking, and you can only expand as wide as your circle. So if you pay attention to how you think and you pay attention to the people around you, that's going to tell you exactly where you're going to end up at. Point blank, period, the end. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes. Okay? So when I support my clients in removing all these ceilings and getting rid of these things, what happens is my clients then get what I like to call energetic and emotional authority. That means that they become women that are sovereign. They become women that are in control of their lives. They become women who can make decisions, because the truth of the matter is women don't like making decisions. Which is why you will wait for a man to tell you he don't want you when he's shown you don't want you. Everything on the inside of you feels that he don't want you. But you sit there and want to wait on someone to tell you that, because you want them to make the decision because you don't want to make the decision. You don't want to make the decision. You would rather sit in misery than make the decision. See, the women that come to work with me aren't afraid to make decisions because they understand that they are able to create the reality that they desire. And if they desire peace, and if this experience is not bringing forth peace, which is a spiritual fruit, which means in order for you to stay in this scenario, you have to be misaligned. Because if peace is a spiritual fruit, then you have no choice, if you are not submitting to peace or creating peace, to have chaos. Chaos brings confusion. You literally been in church all your life claiming that you know God is not an author of confusion, but you stay confused when you're dealing with that man. It's not making sense. And then you wonder why you don't have peace. See, all of these things come from women not wanting to make decisions for real. They want to wait on somebody else to do it for them. Like I said, the women that come to work with me, when we dissolve these invisible ceilings, they become authorities in the area of their emotions and of energetics. What you don't understand is your core is a woman. You are here to manipulate energy so that you can create the reality that you desire. What is manipulating energy? Me doing this right here is a manipulation of energy. That's a manipulation of energy. So anything that you do, see, a lot of women who have not risen above their core nature still manipulate men to get what they want. And I say what I say. Women who have not risen above their core nature, they manipulate men to try to get what they want. But then they wonder why they end up being manipulated, because energetics don't lie. And there's this beautiful law called the law of sowing and reaping, that literally says whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And I think sometimes women get it very confused. When you play these mental games that have spiritual consequences because you lack understanding, that doesn't mean for 1 second that you're not going to pay the piper, that you're not going to reap what you sow. So when you're out here trying to talk to men about how they're going to reap what they sow, make sure you understand it about yourself. Make sure you understand it about yourself. Because if you are out here trying to manipulate people to get an outcome, you may as well accept your calling as a witch. And a lot of you who claim to be believers literally operate like that. You're trying to manipulate outcomes when the reality of the situation is the only thing that you can control is yourself, which self-control is a fruit of the spirit. And a part of self-control is you being able to make a decision and say, yeah, I'm going to walk from this because this don't really work for me. This don't really serve me. This isn't really aligned with the vision that I have for my life, and it's draining me. It's no reason why a man should drain the life out of you. Do you know how long it takes for a man to drain the life out of you? That means you gave him your sacred currency of time. You continue to give it to him. Despite what it is that you felt on the inside of you, despite what it is that you saw, despite what it is how things didn't make sense, you still decided to participate in an experience, and you wonder why you end up drained? To allow anything or anyone to drain you is a mismanagement of self. It's a mismanagement of your currency, of your time, your sacred currencies, your time, your energy, your attention, and your money. And you know what happens when you know why women start in this trend that they have going on, why they look the way they look after these relationships? I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm just tell you, because you're not protecting your sacred currencies. When you give away so much of your time and so much of your energy and so much of your attention and so much of your money, right? It begins to impact your beauty. Why does it impact your beauty, Elle? Because you've lost the plot. And you've taken all of your time and focused it on him. You've taken all your energy and focused it on what he's doing. You've taken all your attention and if you focused it on him. You've even taken your money. Don't piss me off with that. But you've even taken your money and you done gave it over to him. And you wonder why you look like that when it's over with? You wonder why you look like that when it's over with? Really? Are we shocked? Nobody drained you. You gave it away. Because here's the thing that women got to understand. We have the ability to bring life. Do you understand? Do you understand how real it is? We have the ability to bring life, which means that we bring life and we bring support. So the energy that we naturally bring is, as women, is life and support. You need to be thinking that your energy is life support energy. You know why nobody can drain me? Nobody can play me without my permission, participation, or the fact I ain't paying attention. And I'm always paying attention. I'm always paying attention. But you know, when I realized that my energy was life support energy, when I realized the words that I spoke made people wake up and become alive and made things happen on the inside of them, and when I really realized that, when the Most High really showed me that was a part of my gift, you know what I started doing? I started stewarding that. Because when I give you that and I give you life support energy, the minute I see that you don't value life support energy, you know what I do? Pull the plug. And see, when you pull the plug, ain't nobody raising up after that. I don't plug it back in. It's dead. Because the Most High in Scripture literally tells you, you will know them by their fruit. People show you how they feel about you because their behavior is attached to a belief about you, whether they say it out their mouth or not. And that's what you better know. So when I see that you don't value life support energy that I'm providing, I will pull the plug, and I'm never plugging it back up. Never. I don't play that. See, I'm not going to let you drain me. That's ridiculous. It's too many people that will value that because they understand the rarity of that type of currency. So why would I give it to somebody who don't value it? Why would I give you another opportunity to waste it? Y'all need to believe people the first time. That's why I tell you in Scripture, you will know people by their fruit. People show you what's up with them. You're not paying attention. You're too enamored by what you see. You're not the only one. You too enamored by being on a date. You too enamored at the fact that this person bought you flowers. You too enamored by small things that you're not seeing it. You're not seeing it. This is why I say all the time, there is no such thing as love bombing. Love bombing only exists for women who don't know that they are the bomb and that are starved of love. And I'm telling you the truth. Because if you see yourself as a first-class experience, you expect nice things. You expect quality experiences. You expect these things. So you're not enamored by the BS to where you can't see who you're dealing with. There is no such thing as that. Love bombing is a spell you put on yourself when you don't take care of yourself. And I said what I said. When you pouring into you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, you know you that girl. Somebody telling you you beautiful, you are not enamored by that man. You are so beautiful. You noticed? Thank you for what? You already, if you know that about yourself, why are you taking, oh my God, he calls me beautiful all the time. Are you kidding me? You so enamored with somebody calling you beautiful all the time because you don't call you beautiful all the time. You don't see yourself as beautiful all the time. That's how you get caught up in that. That's how you put yourself under a spell. Seriously. Love bombing is a spell that you put under yourself when you do not practice self-love consistently. You understand? Your baby, every time you noticed. I like that you noticed. See, I can do it in a way if I'm feeling the vibe and I'm like, I like that you noticed. And I'm moving on. Because I don't care about that. What's up with your character? I don't care. The man at the gas station who ain't took a shower in 12 weeks will tell you how beautiful you are. You don't care what he said. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. You've got to start paying attention. Nobody can play you without your permission, participation, or the fact that you are not paying attention. So again, when I say that I mentor visionary women to dissolve these invisible ceilings, to embody emotional and energetic authority, I position them to do this so that their leadership Their relationships and their wealth reflects their true design, not what society says that they should have. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these comments and these likes. Not what society says that they should have. Not the relationship the way society says you should do relationship. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see how none of y'all doing relationship. I understand covenant. See, that ain't the same thing. But the relationship aspect of what society, I don't see how none of y'all doing it. Because truthfully, you ain't doing nothing but auditioning for a role and practicing. And if you don't get it, it's just y'all just there until somebody don't like nobody no more. I want you to really think about what's happening in society and what they taught you around relationship. Seriously. Your relationship should reflect how you, an added value. Your relationship should, one, reflect the value that you have for yourself. And number two, the added value that the individual is bringing to your life. You should not be bringing people in your life that are not adding value. But it's hard for you to bring people into your life who add value when you don't see your own innate value, when you don't value yourself. Because the reason why you don't value yourself is because you don't see your innate value. And the reason why you don't see your innate value is because society programmed you to not pay attention to it while stealing it from you. Don't believe me? Let's go back to what I said. Your sacred currencies. Society understands the value of time, the value of energy, the value of attention, and the value of money, which is why they use all those things against you. Don't believe me? Let's go a little bit deeper with this. Anything I tell you is rooted in scripture, science, and psychology. I love to expose the illusions of what society tells you that's really not true. So that's kind of like my nerd space, but let's get into it. Let's talk about your time. Society has women thinking that you have to rush to get married and rush to have children. And when you go back and you really kind of look at things lineage-wise and just a long time, even scripturally, women lived for a long time and had children at a late age. But society will tell you, you need to hurry up, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this in this time frame. They do all of these, they play all these, they really do sorcery on you. That's really what it is. It's really a high level sorcery that's being done. But the whole thing is to get you to make you feel like you don't have time. They play this game on your mind about you growing old and all this different stuff, and growing old alone if you don't hurry up and get married as a woman, if you don't hurry up and you don't do this. When even if we were going to science or even look at the statistics, truthfully, women are not dying alone. Women are dying around love, support, family, and all these different type of things. Like they're going, the ones who not are the opposite, are the other ones. They're the ones having some times. And talk to your nurses and talk to your nurse friends and talk to your friends who work in hospice and ask them who are the ones who are spending a lot of time alone and who are grumpy and who are upset and who are sad and who are mean. It's not really women. So another thing, it has you rushing and thinking you have to do all of these things that you don't need to do. When the truth is, you're supposed to be in alignment with divine timing. Man-made time is a construct. They don't even teach you the truth about time. They only teach you time from chronological, like your seconds, your minutes, your hours. They don't teach you nothing about Kairos time, which is the seasons, your ebbs and your flows, your ups and your downs. But they use Kairos time to control you. That's the crazy part. The game, what I say the other day, y'all. 2 parts of the game every time. It's the game that's being sold and it's the game that's being told. And if you not pay attention, you really gonna miss what they really telling you because you buying into what they selling you. Seriously. So the thing that you have to really understand is that they are playing on your time while telling you you don't have time, while making you feel like you're exhausted and you need to manage your time better, when time was never meant to be managed. It was meant to be stewarded. But in order to steward time, you would have to understand that there are 2 elements of it, Kairos time and Chronos time. Understanding that if you steward your Chronos time properly by doing things that are in alignment with the vision for your life, when the up seasons come, you'll be ready and you can buy into the things that are in alignment with you. But if you too busy focusing on the timeline of what society is telling you, you're going to always miss out. And they're always moving the goalposts. You can't trust a system or nobody that keeps moving the goalposts ahead of you. They keep moving it. The things that happen when it comes down to Kairos times have always been the same. There have always been ups and downs, famines, and times of flourishing. There's always been those times. But if you know how to manage your chronological time, and I'll give you a good example of this. Y'all remember, if you don't know, the story of Joseph, when everything happened and there was going to be a famine in the land, he started telling everybody, split off this, do this, basically splitting off the food and rationing everything. So when the famine happened, they had everything they needed because with their chronological time, they knew what to do with it. They stored properly. They did what they needed to do. So when it was time to be up, they were ready. When you think about the women with the oils, the women who had the jars and that were ready, they could go in. The ones who didn't have the jars, they couldn't go in. You got to understand time. You got to understand how they play with your time. You got to understand how they try to trick you about your time, which positions you to shorten your time on this earth. You got to understand these things. So they play with your time. They play with your energy. How do they play with your energy? They play with your energy because they always feeding you fear-mongering content. They're always feeding you half-truths. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to believe what's given to you. You're going to argue these points and pass these. I'm going to be real with you. That's the reason why a lot of people are very confused around scripture to this day. People don't understand that a lot of tradition has been passed down in the church building, but not a lot of true text, which is why we have a big gap in generations between them and their relationship with the Creator because of the things that have been taught that were not really true. That were tradition, but they were not biblical. And that was a huge part of fear-mongering programming that was put out there. You got people scared to have a relationship with the Creator. You got people scared when they make a decision that they feel like they immediately gonna go to hell, so that puts them on the frequency of guilt and shame, which become invisible ceilings between you and the one that created you. Because the one that created you never leaves you. Never. People may leave, but the Creator never leaves you. But there can be, thank you my love for these follows, you can put invisible blocks and ceilings between that with your decisions and the things that you do. So these are the things that we have to really pay attention to that are extremely important. Okay? Thank you, loving. So they play with your time. They play with your energy. They hold your attention, which is something you have to pay attention to, because attention is the highest form of currency in society, because the powers that be understand that if we have your attention, then wherever your attention goes, your energy is going to flow there. So for example, if you need an example, I want you to think about when you watch a film. You watch specifically a film and then something is happening where it starts to heighten. They know the longer you watch the movie or watch the series, the more emotionally engulfed you're going to become in it. The more, wherever your attention goes, your energy is going to flow. Your emotions are energy in motion. This is why you crying after series and you connected to characters that you don't even know. This is why I also explained to you a couple of lives ago that when you watch things that are produced in this society, you need to be watching it from two lenses. You need to watch for, again, y'all really need to go watch that live where I was talking about the game is to be sold and not, the game is going to be sold and told, but you need to watch it from two narratives. You need to see what they're trying to sell you emotionally in this film, in this series, whatever. But you need to pay attention to the narrative that they're telling you. They're actually programming your mind to catch, because that's the part that you're missing. A lot of people, society is very emotional and not strategic, which is why it's easy to get people riled up with the smallest things, because they always can grab your attention. But if your mindset is focused on things that are above, if your mindset is focused on things above your core nature, which is to be manipulative, to operate how they move, if your mind is not set up there, it's easy for you to be manipulated because they have your attention. And if I have your attention and then I have your energy, then I got your money. And that's a cycle. That's a cycle that keeps happening. And it's continuously how you buy into things. that truthfully were not meant to sell you or set you up for success. It positioned you to actually be in a space to where it made you a slave. And that's the thing that we have to really pay attention to. If we have more strategic thinking, we know how to manage those emotions. True. Okay? So let's talk about it. Because I didn't give y'all a list. But let me get into the main core of what we're talking about, which is how to lead without losing yourself. Because this is something I think that women really, really struggle with. They struggle with it real bad. In marriages, in motherhood, in business, in a role, any role. Because women they have a hard time just being a woman and being identified as yourself. It's like you have to speak to your role. My name is such and such. Tell me about you. Well, I'm a mom. Girl, you don't even know if you're talking to somebody who is an abuser. Why are you telling this man that your first thing out your mouth is a mom? That's your identity. Stop. Now stop. Oh, I'm a CEO. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, I'm this. Why is it not okay to just be you, to start with you? Because I don't think that y'all understand where we're going in society. We are no longer in the what you do thing. People are burnt out on talking about, oh, you're an entrepreneur. Oh, okay, it's just like whatever every day. People want to know who you are. And what is coming to the surface is that a lot of women don't know who they are outside of what they do. And that's a really big problem. That's going to be a really, really big problem for you. Okay, so as a woman, you can build a life that looks extremely powerful, and a lot of women have done it or looks very successful. You know, no matter what it looks like in love and business and all those great things, but a lot of those women are slowly disappearing inside of that. You can be admired, you can be accomplished, you can even be envied, while performing a version of yourself that wins approval but costs you the woman that you really are. Okay. And if a lot of you have been wondering why whatever this success is feels very heavy to you, I can kind of tell you why. It's not going to feel free to you because you're living in a persona and you're not really living in a muse. Some of you are in a space to where, good morning, some of y'all are in a space to where you know you're at a fork in the road and you really need to make some decisions. But like I said, women don't like to make decisions. And that's not a judgment, okay? Because I used to be the same way. But here's the thing that you have to kind of understand when it comes down to things. The reason why women don't like making decisions is because women don't like finality. But I always say this all the time. If you can understand and accept that finality is a part of any reality that you create, I promise you're going to be okay. I promise you're going to be okay with making more decisions. You got to be okay with finality. If you don't start being okay with finality, you're never going to leave that situationship. If you don't start being okay with finality, you're never going to stand up for yourself. If you don't start being okay with finality, you're not going to have the life that you want. You just not. You're never going to be fulfilled. It does not make any sense. You have to accept that finality is a reality in all realities. Because everybody got to die. Y'all, like you have to wake up. And I'm so serious. You have to wake up if you want your life to really shift and change. Okay? So like I said, a reason why a lot of women create this picture perfect thing, and even a young lady who came on and she was crying online and she was saying, I don't know if I want to do this and da-da-da. But according to what she was saying, she would have a successful marriage. She has a good man. She has this. She has that. But her success feels heavy of having that. And she doesn't feel free. Says she don't like checking in. She don't like, when you don't feel free in an experience, that means that you're not really being the fullness of yourself, and you probably haven't activated your inner muse. You probably haven't activated your inner muse. And when I say activating your inner muse, a muse by definition is a source of inspiration. A muse is a work of art. You know what I'm saying? She is walking art. And art gets invested in. Art inspires investment. Art inspires investigation. So what I think that a lot of women are missing when they're asking the question of like, I do this for everyone, or they're like, I do this for everyone, I do this for everyone. No one sees me, no one hears me, no one understands me. No one is going to do any of those things. Why? Because you don't inspire investigation. Why don't you? Because you haven't activated your inner muse. You haven't freed yourself. See, when you free yourself from the shackles that you have on the inside of you, the external validation, worrying about all that, worrying about other people's approval, worrying about what people are going to say, worrying about how this is going to come out. When you take ownership for your light and your darkness and stop trying to play up how much of a great person you are, how much of a good Christian you are, y'all gotta stop lying. Women lie a lot too. They lie a lot to themselves, and then they wonder why they attract liars. Okay? So lying to yourself by saying, "Oh, I'm making me a priority. I'm doing this and I'm doing it," and not honoring those things within yourself attracts people who don't honor you. You have to understand you are always meeting yourself. When you are operating from the energy of being a muse, it's a mystery. You become a mystery. You have this mystique. You have this appeal to where people want to know more about you. A muse isn't loud and sound. A muse is heavy felt in presence. You understand? A muse inspires investigation. If you don't believe me, think about a time or whenever you may have met someone or you saw someone and you just had, even if you didn't act on it, but you had this urge to want to know more and investigate this individual. It happens every single time. Every single time. It happens all the time. But see, when I say that when you activate your inner muse, people want to know more about you, they start investigating. Once they investigate, if you make an impact or a heavy impression on them, they become intrigued, which raises their interest, which causes them to invest. Invest what else? Sacred currencies like time, energy, attention, and money. I just told y'all how the system use your time, energy, and attention to get money out of you. I'm trying to tell you how to activate what's naturally in you so that you can inspire people to invest, inspire companies to invest. People invest, and companies invest, and corporations invest in where they see value. Present. You understand? You have to understand the present value. And a lot of women don't understand the present value. And this is why people, even the people in your life that you might be in a relationship with, are not inspired. They're not inspired to ask you what's wrong with you when you start, your mood changes. They're not inspired to figure out why you got an attitude. They're not inspired to investigate if they can help you. Okay? I'm trying to tell you the truth. I'm trying to tell you the truth. Tyler said, I say this all the time, how I'm so grateful. I have come, oh, thank you, my love. I appreciate you so much, and I'm grateful for your trust. Like, women got to understand, you are a walking art. And when you activate your inner muse, you inspire people to see. And I'm going to keep 100% real with you. I cannot express a problem around people I love and they don't immediately try to solve it for me. Man, woman, even children. I'm not even kidding around. And it's not because, oh, I'm just so this and oh, I'm just so that. No. My inner muse is definitely activated though. Highly activated. And that's what I support my other clients in being able to do, because what you have to understand about being free and feeling that, you have to be in your muse energy. And the muse is your anchored, it's your magnetic, your unapologetic self. That's who she is. The one who leads without performing. The one who earns without grinding or hustling. Okay? The one who moves through life without losing her essence. It don't matter how many people that she meets that try to play with her. She does not allow them to make her jaded, to make her bitter, to do any of that, because she understands that this is her life. Y'all gotta stop giving people access to turn you into something that you're not. Women are literally walking art. We are muses. We are inspirations. Baby, I mean, y'all need, I really wish that a lot of women would go back and really study the history of a lot of powerful women, especially when it comes down to scripture, because I love going to look at those, because they try to really play it like the women in the Bible really, or the women in scripture were really not that. When them women were extremely strategic, extremely feminine, and it's bigger than the Proverbs 31 woman. Like it's way bigger. It's so many more. Esther literally taught you the game on the importance of beauty currency. I wrote a series on that, but I haven't released it on my Substack yet for my paid subscribers. A year of beauty treatments, and you not pouring into yourself the way you need to. JL showed you she wasn't scared to get rid of a man if she needed to. Okay, like it's some real heavy hitters, powerful women, feminine women. None of them weak. So I don't even understand why women are running from. I don't want to be. You know why you don't want to be a strong woman? Let you tell it, or you don't want to be looked at as a woman of strength, because society, you have the wrong impression and idea of strong and strength. Society trained you, including traditional teachings that were done in a building, because the church is a body. Traditional teachings that were done in a building with twisting scripture taught you to be subservient and to struggle, because that was the way to being the best or the closest to the Most High, when that is not. None of that is scriptural. Everything I teach is rooted in scripture, backed up by science and backed up by psychology. It is not in scripture. There's nowhere. See, that's something that they taught you, and so a lot of women pick that up, that you have to sacrifice and you have to lose yourself, and mixed in with societal programming. Girl, you better take care of your kids and do all this. You got kids, you don't get to do nothing else, you don't do this. See, all of this has been piss poor programming, and that's why women are tired and they don't want to be strong, because you've been doing everything and playing every other role and every other position but your own. But your own. You playing every other role but your own. You were never meant to be the strong person and struggle here. You were never meant to be those things. You were meant to have the strength necessary for when you go through the things assigned to you, like when people leave this earth. See, it's a level of resilience that you have to be able to go through a period of grief and have to turn around your strengths and all those things. That's what it's for. It's for things like that. It's not for you to go help somebody build something up from the ground in the name of being a good person, and then when he leave you to go be with somebody else, you want to be mad about it. You were never there to build them up. You are not responsible for building the foundation of another adult human being. Children, yes. Children, yes. But another able-bodied adult, be for real. That's not your responsibility. And we have to understand that. So we get that very confused. So that's why y'all, I don't want to be strong anymore. You need strength in this life. And if you don't want to be strong, I hate it for you by 2027, especially if you live in the States. You better develop some strength. You better develop some strength. You think you're seeing something now that's going on, that's happening with the stuff that's happening in DC? Hold tight. Coming to a neighborhood near you. You hold tight. I'm telling you. You want to talk about you don't want to be. Yeah, all right. You better activate your inner muse. You better become a source of inspiration, because even where things are going in the form of content creation and influencing and all of these things, and I've been in business for a while and I've made all my money online from social. So I'm telling you where this thing is going. The new influence, celebrity culture is dying out. All that influence stuff, this is what I got, none of that is going to work anymore. People are looking for solutions, and people are looking to get to the root so that they can correct the issue and get out of this matrix. That's what they are. And the people who are really going to be out there doing that work, those are going to be the ones who are going to be rising up. Again, it's about who you are. Your character is going to be the big thing. I'm telling you. That's why all these things are falling down. Everything is being exposed because we're in the age of air. Thank you, my love. So what you're not understanding is your character is going to be up. So the people who are out here doing the work and shifting lives, you're about to see a very quick shift. And that's what I'm talking about when I say, if you're not managing your chronological time right, because you worrying about a fool, or you worrying about some foolishness, and your mind ain't set on above where you need to be going. When it's time to be up and when it's seasons to be up, you ain't even gonna be ready, because now you got to grieve this situationship you was in for 3 years when you knew you should never got in it, and you should knew that wasn't for you after month 2. So now you can't even spiritually, mentally, and emotionally focus to get the actions done to shift to be in position. Now you gotta heal now. But see, had you guard your heart above everything else, then understanding that from it flows life. Life as in the energy that you need to get this stuff done. Oh, we don't want to protect that though. We want to help everybody else. Ma'am, please, you better activate your inner muse. The one who leads without performing, who earns without grinding, the one who moves in life without losing her essence. Because that's the one who's going to win. And if you don't unleash her now, I'm just going to be honest with you, you'll keep building a life. You'll keep building a life, all right, that you really can't breathe on the inside of. That you can't breathe on the inside of it, though. Let me tell you about the shadow persona of the woman who is leading, but not leading from her muse energy. Number one, she feel like she always got to be on. She always got to be on. Constantly visible. Access is your safety net. People seeing you and seeing that you're fine and seeing that everything is good and yada, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Why do you feel like you need to always be on? If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. If you can't show up, you can't show up. But see, that's too authentic. That's too real. But like I say all the time, authenticity will get you in the door, but character gonna keep you in the door. And the more you fake it, like you just so supportive, and when you start realizing that people are not returning the energy that you believe that you should be getting because you're showing up for people, you're gonna eventually snap, I show up for everybody. Nobody shows up for me. See, then the real you gonna come out. Then the real you is gonna run up. Okay? Because you feel like you always need to be on. Why? It's fake. It's performance. You need to get to the root of that. The second shadow persona of the woman who is performing. And these women, what I'm telling you is that women do this in life. They do this at work, in business, and in relationships. Oh, the one that you got. And I'm not saying that this is everyone. But I do notice a very consistent pattern with this. People who feel the need to always post their relationship, like always. And I'm not saying everyone, but I noticed a pattern with quite a bit. Normally when people are doing that, because most people, when they post on social media, they really posting for themselves. A lot of people think that they're posting for other people, but most people are really posting for themselves. They're posting their thoughts that they agree with. They're posting quotes that probably align with their life or a scenario that is going with them. This is most people of what they're doing. So even when they're posting their relationship, because it's like they're trying to motivate themselves to keep themselves in something that they know that they're not supposed to be in. That's really not in alignment. But always got to have on, because I can't let nobody know that we going through a divorce. I can't let nobody know that this is going on. I can't face that level of embarrassment. Why though? Why? Who is that heavy in your life that's going to judge that can judge your experience when it's only been you in that experience? So why do they have so much power over you that you got to perform? Again, it's a spell. Society, I'm telling you, when you come into this society and you don't know who you are spiritually, you have to assimilate. So in order for you to connect, and we're communal beings as women, we are the communal species. So in order to connect and make friends, if you don't be yourself, you got to choose a main character. You got to choose a personality. And that personality you perform and eventually chokes you out. It chokes you out. It chokes you out. That's what it's like when you feel like you always got to be on. Here go the next thing. The next shadow side of this type of person. They always give an authority through effort, right? So respect is earned by being everywhere and doing everything. So then you label yourself as the person who always helping everybody. You the one who's almost always there, the supportive one, the one who always shows up. My friends can't say nothing about me. They could just say that I always show up. I'm always there. I'm this. See, you make this your identity. But you do this because you really want people to really show up for you, because there's some spaces in your life where you need people to show up, but you are hoping that people are just going to mimic what you're doing or see what you're doing and immediately reciprocate what you're doing. How about most people in the world don't pay attention? Didn't I just say nobody could play you without your permission, participation, or the fact you ain't paying attention? Most people ain't paying attention to society, let alone paying attention to the next person and what they really doing. They may appreciate it, but they may not necessarily be paying attention enough to turn around and replicate it. But see, you have it in your mind that this is what you do, and it's a big respect thing for you. Why? Why? What is that really doing for you? Really start telling yourself the truth. The third shadow side of this persona is the validation loop, the external validation loop. Your worth is tied to output and applause. So when you do something, you want to clap. Much like a little girl that comes out and she has a dress on and she's like, "Daddy, do I look pretty?" And she's waiting there for a compliment. That's what a lot of grown women do. What do you think about this? God told you to go do that. And you asking a human what they think? The Most High gave you that assignment. And you asking somebody else if you think you should show up? I mean, I'm just trying to understand. You seek external validation when you don't validate yourself and when you don't feel validated. You don't feel validated in that moment. See that, and a lot of women don't realize they confuse external validation with loneliness. A lot of y'all ain't even lonely. Truth to you, I'm about to unlock something for some of y'all with this one. A lot of y'all ain't even lonely. The issue is that you don't feel validated at that time. So a lot of you, because you don't understand the difference and you don't know how to validate yourself, you go and position yourself to be in spaces to be validated, and you end up getting yourself hurt. All because you were looking for some form of validation, external validation. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. So these are the things that you really got to pay attention to. Women have gone out here and created children because you just wanted to feel validated. Dang. Do you understand how dangerous that is? Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes and these comments. Do you understand how dangerous that is? Because you wanted to feel validated, you didn't put yourself in an experience, and now a child came from that. You don't know how to validate yourself, let alone a baby. You're not even lonely. You're not even lonely for real. You just don't know how to validate yourself. That's because you ain't activated your inner Muse. That's because you don't know yourself. You don't know your value. You can't validate when you don't know your value, when you haven't accepted your value. You don't even honor your own time, energy, attention, or your own money, let alone your own beauty, but you're begging for somebody else to do it. Do you understand that's witchcraft? Do you understand that's why you attract narcissistic men? Let me put you on game. Narcissism is a demonic influence, specifically the narcissistic spirit. So the demonic influence has access points, very easy access points to you when you are trying to outsource things you should give yourself first, such as validation. You become the easiest target. You give off a smell, a stench that attracts them, because you don't care for yourself. I really, and I want you to get a visual of this. It's almost, imagine sitting next to someone who is not bathed in 12 weeks, right? Imagine sitting next to them and the stench that's going to come from that, right? That you are going to smell, that's going to come in your nose. When you smell that, the first thing you're thinking is this person does not take care of themselves. That is the exact same thing that's happening with demonic influence when it comes down to the spirit of narcissism. Okay? The access point is your stench, because you don't take care of yourself, and that's evident. I see you walk outside looking any kind of way. I see you run ragged for your mama, your sister, your auntie, and your cousin. I see you doing everything for everybody and then saying, I wish somebody would do something for me. So I'll do a little something for you to make you feel something because you don't do nothing for yourself. So I'll give you a little something. You'll be a little attached. Now you love bomb, caught up. See, a spell. Nobody can play you without your permission, participation, or the fact that you simply are not paying attention. An external validation loop will put you in some of the worst positions. That's what happens with the performer. You got that too. Let's get into the next one. Constricted expression. You edit your truth to stay palatable, professional, and marketable. Where has that gotten you? Little Miss Code Switch. I understand the dynamics and why we were taught that. I understand the dynamics and what our parents grew up in a different generation. They grew up in a different era. They had to do certain things to move certain things. But here's the thing. When you come into full understanding of yourself, especially spiritually, you become extremely bold. You become extremely bold in who you are, and you don't edit truth. Truth is truth. Truth don't have to be debated. Truth are gonna always outlast whatever lie. And that's what you got to understand. So editing the truth so you can be digested well, so you can come across as professional, so you can come across as being marketed well and all of that. It's a bunch of crap because then people don't like you anyway. Why you got to be fake to get somebody to like you? Energetically, again, let's get into it. There's the law of sowing and reaping. So if you are going in saying, I am not good enough myself, so I'm going to pretend to be someone else, and I'm going to put that energy out here into the universe, which the universe is created by the Most High, which is the most potent, the most accurate algorithm that we have in this entire world. It picks up on the energy of you being fake, and you will be met with fake. Do you understand? Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. You're going to be met with fake. So if you're going into this space pretending to be something that you're not, and it tells you in scripture that anything you will attract under false pretenses, basically, because that's evil, to shapeshift, to change who you are, to get something, you are not going to be able to sustain it. A lot of y'all went into these interviews at these corporate positions acting like somebody else and wonder why you having a breakdown at their job. But on team, you were misaligned for that position anyway. You weren't supposed to be there. You were trying to go in there just to be able to get some money, and you realized that they were taxing on your soul to meet their goals, and now you don't like it. Now you're not well. See, you don't realize that all of these things are connected. And I talked about in my last video, and I actually have a TikTok talking about how most of these interviews anywhere are basically a process of humiliation. Because you have to come out of your ego to be able to get the position. You have to impress them. You have to prove you're the best. You have to defend. You got to do all these things when it literally tells you in scripture, I call you and I qualify you. See, if you just get clearly in alignment with the vision for your life, you'll realize that doors will be open for you and things will happen for you and people will be trying to figure out how you got there. But just know you in there. But it doesn't work when you have this faulty persona. It doesn't work when you need to edit your truth. People are tired of being lied to. Speak what it is. Or speak nothing at all. Because we got enough false narratives and false information out here already. The last thing when it comes down to the shadow side of the persona of the woman who is performing and who has not activated her muse is she has this masculine mode of success. And the masculine mode of success looks like, building through push, proof, pressure versus rhythm and magnetism. Okay? Versus rhythm and magnetism. Thank you, lovey. I'll praise to the Most High. Versus rhythm and magnetism, which is your natural state. Okay? We attract things as women from rhythm and magnetism. That's the easiest way. That's the most simplest way to be able to not only manifest something into your experience, but also be able to sustain it. Because it makes no sense to manifest something you can't keep. Yeah, you manifested $1,000 in your business, but here's the thing. Can you repeat that? If not, can you sustain that? If not, this is where the issue comes in, okay? So with all these shadow sides that I talked about, always being on authority through effort, external loop validation, constricted expression, and masculine mode of success, The truth is, when, how can I say this? A lot of women think that they are protecting their success by performing it. If I code switch, I'll be able to stay in this position. If I give this persona like I got this going on with my lifestyle and business, people will buy from me, you know. But you're really protecting the very cage that's keeping you from your next level. You're protecting the cage that's keeping you from your next level because you're not being honest. You're not being true. Like right now, I'm going through a growth spurt, right? And y'all think I'm dropping gems right now. For the women that's in my communities and the women that work with me directly, even the things that I'm going to be kind of doing on here, but on TikTok's going to be gone, but on YouTube, y'all ain't even seen nothing yet. Y'all haven't even really seen the depths of the energetics that I'm going to go, the depths around identity I'm going to go to really show you how this makes sense and how all these things impact how much money you can bring in and make, how all of these things impact your love life and your relationships, how all of these things impact your health. Because going forward, these are the things like that'll be really, because the riches are in relationships and who you know and all those things. The riches are going to be in your health. Because it ain't going to be a lot of this, oh, I'm going to the doctor to do this. I'm telling you, it's a lot of stuff coming. Get yourselves together, please. Please. All right? I've never seen them articulated this fully. Well, all praises to the Most High. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, let's go ahead and get into this next phase, okay? The woman who is sitting in this energy, that's not her muse energy, okay? She wants to feel like herself again, unedited, present, and fully alive. Most women don't feel like that, to be honest. She wants to be respected without proving. She wants to be desired without performing. Because a lot of women have to perform for men to get them to like them. They have to be something different. And that's unfortunate because you shouldn't do that. Men are very monumental. Well, that's not the right word I want to say. A lot of men are focused on the moment. That's the best way I can describe that. And when you are performing, or auditioning to try to get a long-term role in that person's life, when the majority of them are in the moment, you're going to set yourself up for failure. You're going to set yourself up to be used. You're going to set yourself up to be prey. You want to be desired without having to perform. I'm telling you. Okay? This woman also wants to create results that come from her essence, not from her exhaustion. This woman also wants her leadership, her income, and her relationships, okay, held by who she is, not what she does. She wants to live in a way that feels very light. She wants to live in a way that feels very free. She wants to live in a life that's potent, but that's most importantly, deeply hers. And I'm going to tell you the 3 shifts that need to be made in order to unleash your inner muse. Okay? So let's get into it. Shift number 1. You have to go from urgency to sovereign peace. And what I mean by that means the persona is of a person who is in urgency. You're reactive, you're rushing, and you may fear stillness, or you feel like stillness to sit down. It's just like I'm being lazy, I'm not doing anything, yada, 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 yada. That's the urgency. That needs to go. That needs to shift. That needs to change to the muse energy, which is choosing your rhythm, acting from intention, letting stillness build power. Do you understand? And one example of letting stillness build power, I'm gonna give you a move. But if you ain't activated your inner muse, it may not work right for you. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. But the next time that you are in conversation with someone, and someone asks you a question, right, of the opposite sex, what you want to do is let stillness build power. And one way for you to do that is when they ask you a question, before you speak, pause. But don't be awkward with the pause. So for example, let's just say a man says, oh, Well, what do you like to do for yourself, or what do you do when it comes down to work? I don't really get asked about work, but what do you do? What do you do when it comes down to work? Right. So this is me. I create for a living. That pause, me looking, he like, what's wrong? Did I ask you something wrong? Did I know it? That builds power because the other person gets concerned, because most people are in a rush. People are trying to hurry up and control the conversation. I do this, I do this, I do this. I might even take, if I got a drink, some water, and you ask me something, oh, what do you? What do I do? I create for a living, silly. Like, build the power. Like, y'all gotta be start reading the Bible. Y'all be talking about y'all be reading. What y'all be reading? What do y'all be reading? Okay? The game, and that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna start talking about biblical energetics too. Not today though. I'm gonna talk about biblical energetics and some more. Cause y'all this, you got the power. Just be still. So somebody asks you, well, tell me about you. Well, I'm on nerves. I do this, I do that, I do that. You on the interview. You on the interview, and you finna have a humiliation process right here happen. Because you in here trying to prove how great of a woman you are, how great of a candidate you are. All of these things when that's not even necessary. Build power by letting stuff sit still. Even if somebody try to ask you a question to confront you, same methodology. I heard you say da 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 about me. Me. Okay, now what's the problem? Baby! The heat that's coming off the top. Because this is the thing. Like, you can't expect me to talk to you. Like, you can't be for real. Like, build the power. Y'all give too much y'all power. Girl, you got me. Here you go, out of breath, heart pounding. You ain't even healthy. You ain't even prepared to be in no fight. Like, build the power. Jeez. I can't argue with you. You're too mad. That's good. My favorite one, babe. I can't talk to you when you're like this. I just, maybe this isn't a good time to discuss this. You seem really, upset. And I can't talk to you like that. No sarcasm, just, I mean, what you want me to do with that? Yeah, because that's really why I'm like, what you want me to do with all that? Like, build power, guys. What's wrong with us? Arguing in the street with these fools? You don't know that a soft answer turns away wrath? Y'all ain't got no finesse and no game no more. What's wrong? What's wrong? We innately have game. What I'm trying. How you? You need to go from urgency to sovereign, ma'am. Urgency to sovereign. All that reactivity, all that rushing. You know what I hate to see? I'm finna get on y'all. I hate to see y'all running to the door. At the gas station, at the store. Most of the stores got doors that open. But y'all know what I'm saying. I hate to see it. I have seen women, it be a man walking up to the door. It's a woman walking up to the door. And here go the woman rushing to get to the door. What is the rush, madam? Where's the problem? Y'all, and then swept it down. Don't nobody want to open up. I'm not finna wait on you. It ain't about waiting. it's about slowing down and being in the present and being in the moment. Y'all don't even switch no more when y'all walk because y'all be, what is going on? What is going on? Yes, Dr. Eli, people have definitely been trained to rush. Like, baby, slow down and be in the present. Y'all be moving so quickly, your head ain't even on the swivel paying attention to what's going on around you. Please, slow down. Baby, because if I'm walking to the door and it's a man walking to the door and he happens to be behind me, first, I don't want to even touch the nasty door. That's number one. Let's get into it. I don't even want to touch the nasty door. So I'm definitely going to be more present in the moment. And I've had men even say, opening the door, oh, you don't have to rush. I'm standing right here. They will stand there and wait. And here you go, I want to be courteous. Let me hurry up. He opening the door for me. Are y'all okay? No, you're not. That's why you got to slow down. Okay? Slow it down. Stop rushing. Ecclesiastes literally tells you there's a time. Y'all don't be understanding how to use the scripture. Y'all okay? Please. Like, it tell you, Ecclesiastes 3:1 tell you about time. Please stop saying you ain't got enough time. Please. You got all the time in the world. Sheesh. A muse chooses her rhythm. Baby, if I see him going to the door, baby, I'm slowing it down. Because I ain't got to rush. Because where he going? He's going to the door. Told the door from why. And baby, this didn't happen with old men, super young men, men in the hood. I don't care where I'm at. The gas station man who ain't took a shower in 12 weeks. I always get treated with respect. I don't be out here. These men don't cuss me out. They will say, take your time, beautiful, period. Even if they try to talk to me, I politely decline. Then it's never disrespectful. Even the ones y'all like to call YNs, always respectful. Always opening the door. Yes, ma'am, I got it. You look beautiful today. What? Y'all, please. This is the last time I'm saying please to y'all, too, because y'all done piss me off. Come on. The muse chooses her rhythm. She acts from intention. She lets stillness build power. Even when you're walking, that stillness building power, baby. But the problem is y'all don't like yourself, so when you're walking in power and you're walking slow, you don't really want nobody to see you. So you want to look fine in the eyes of a man, but when it really you slowing down, you don't want nobody to really see you and really pay full attention to you. That's really your truth. And you need to see what's up with that. Because it's a lot. You won't even slow down so that you can be served. Child, don't get on my nerves. I'm going to use this example in business, right? To go from urgency to sovereign peace. I had a client who went from, creating daily content and curating that and, and post and all of that. But she started doing that and she started making fewer launches and she started making more money because she wasn't posted from, I gotta be on the algorithm. She was like, I'm posting what is being placed in me to speak on, and that's it and that's all. I'm not posting to be stuck on this algorithm, because what is an algorithm to the almighty algorithm? Y'all too scary for me. I gotta post on the algorithm so I can make sure I make this money by tomorrow. Why would I be worried about posting heavy on the algorithm for cash when the creator of all things, if I'm in alignment with that, whatever I post is going to do what it needs to do. It's going to be potent. It's going to be in position. And the people who resonate with what I'm saying are going to bring in the revenue. And I'm going to support them in getting those results that I'm talking about. So what's the problem? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. What's the problem? And these likes, what's the problem? Like, stop trying to be in a rush. You're rushing men into relationships. Find out if that man like you. Better yet, find out if you like that man. Y'all don't even be liking people. Just be trying to rush. I ain't finna waste no time. You ain't finna come over here and just... Be present in the moment, my God. Please see if you're dealing with a serial killer. Like, what's going on? What are we rushing for? What are we rushing about? Like, I'm serious. What are we rushing for? Y'all want to rush to the altar? Whoa, 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 McFly. If we doing life, and that's the plan, to do life together, then let's take time to see if we can do life together, how that would look like. And I'm not saying that you got to go. I'm not telling nobody, oh, go live with them and do all that, because I don't even believe you got to do all that. When you marry somebody, it just needs to be simply strategic alignment. You need to look at the things spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and socially. Those are the things you need to be assessing in yourselves, and those are the things you need to be assessing in the mate that you're dealing with. And you don't need to marry nobody if y'all ain't got no money and y'all ain't got community. Point blank, period, the end. Real simple, real easy. But if you don't have those things focused for yourself, you will miss every single time. You will miss every single time. So please stop trying to rush. The first shift has to be, if you want to unlock your inner muse, you have to go from urgency to a sovereign pace. Please. Okay? Shift number 2. You have to go from proof to potency. And what I mean by that is the persona of the woman who's performing, who's not in her muse energy, she is an over-deliverer. Okay, in every sense of the word. But she's an over-deliverer so that she can be worth it. All right? She chases credibility through doing. So, for example, you're dating. I'm just going to use this as in a romantic space. You're dating someone. Let's say you've been dating them for a year, and this person's birthday is coming up. Okay? So this person got you a really, really nice gift for your birthday, and or gave you a really nice experience and a nice gift, right? So women don't realize this, but this is a really big mistake that a lot of women make, and I really hope y'all catch this because I'm not going to repeat it. One big mistake that a lot of women make when it comes down to what I'm about to say is that innately you start trying to do this competition thing, and it really ends up going really bad, really, really Michael Jackson bad for you, okay? And what I mean by that is, let's say he got you this really nice gift, nice experience. So you're thinking, oh my God, he did this for me for my birthday. And the truth is, nobody's ever, deep down, nobody's ever done anything like this for me. And nobody's ever been this nice to me. Right? So here you go, feeling like, oh my God, I got to do something so nice and so grand and so great for him. So then you pull out this full spread thing that you do for him. I'm talking about it's heavy. You put your heart, soul, spirit, mind, body, everything into this entire experience for him, right? Cool. It's above and beyond what he did for you. Okay? Follow me now. So you do this, you have a wonderful time, it's great, it's love, it's boom, it's wonderful. You're going into your second year. It's your birthday again. He tends to get you a similar experience to you had, like you had last time. Still nice, with a nice gift. But it wasn't as grand as the experience you put together for him. So guess what? Guess what happens now? Oh, you got an attitude, huh? Oh, you mad, huh? But you're mad because you have an expectation for him to show up even more for you, because you did all this extra hoopla when it came to him, when he didn't ask you for that. You decided to do that on your own accord. You decided to put all your heart and soul and all of this into that. And it's not to say that he didn't put his heart and soul into what he created for you, but you secretly have created a competition. See, what you have to understand is that these grandiose gestures and these things that men may do for you, they create these experiences for you, but a lot of them don't have the expectation for you to create this grandiose experience for them. They want you to give them or be thoughtful. Men prefer thoughtful gifts. Free game. Those are always better, and they're really not normally as anywhere expensive. Because ultimately, all men be wanting is to be appreciated. No lie. And you set yourself up by trying to be in competition with them about who can gift or do more of the most. You're going to set yourself up for disappointment, which is why you should not do that. But when you're operating from a proof space, I gotta prove that I love you. Now you out here believing he don't love me because he didn't prove to you by putting this grandioso experience together that was better than yours. Now what he doing ain't good enough. See, women do this all the time and you don't really pay attention. You're not supposed to be doing that. Innately, you try to start competing. You're like, let me show you. Let me show you. When I used to be very heavy in my masculine, and I remember I had just was coming into aligning with my authentic feminine design, and it was a man who was interested in dating me, right? And very kind man, older, and I remember he taught me something. He was like, he would do things or say things, and I would be like, oh, thank you so much, and I would come back, well, how are you, and how is this, and da-da-da-da. You know what the man said to me? I kid you no lie. He said, he called me by my full name. He said, the next time I do something for you, I want you to do me a favor. And I said, okay, what's the favor? I want you to just say thank you, receive it, sit in it, nothing else. If you get the urge to try to offer, if you get the urge to try to be overly, grateful, if you get the urge to do all this extra stuff, don't. That thank you, that pretty face, and that energy is all that I need. Say less, my guy. Say less, sweetheart. You ain't got to worry about me, okay? So when I learned that, and I started implementing that with every man after him, I realized he was correct. He was correct, okay? You don't have to do all this proving. Because the men who... Nah, man, I ain't even finna say all that. But you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that for the one that wants you back. And let me tell you something. How you do one thing is how you do all things. When you realize you don't have to prove in these relationships, you ain't got to prove nothing to these folks when it come down to your products and your services neither. You ain't got to prove to them that you got... Baby, I got hundreds of women that I've helped. Hundreds. Do you hear me? Of women that I have helped in my time frame of doing the work that I'm doing. But I ain't got to show you every single 100 woman that's on. I ain't got to show you all that. You going to get a couple on. And if that ain't what it is, you going to get a couple on with the truth out there. It's all going to be true. And if that ain't enough for you, then oh well. I'm not proving. I'm potent. You understand? I don't have to prove. My energy is potent. It's present. It penetrates. So I ain't got to prove nothing. And that's what happens when you activate your inner muse. Thank you, Lovey. So let's talk about what this looks like from muse energy. Because we talked about the persona of the performer, which is the over-deliverer, right? The muse, she commands respect through her presence and through her decisions. Ain't nothing like a muse who know how to cut them off, because a muse is a lady, and a lady always knows when to leave any experience that is not serving her. I don't care what it is. Again, a muse commands respect through her presence and through her decisions. See, you can't activate your inner muse if you're not ready to accept finality, as the finality is available in all realities. It's mandatory and required in all realities. Because then you can't make a decision. But a muse can walk into a room, and y'all done met, and the thing about it is you've seen muses. You ever been in a restaurant or been in a room and a woman just walks in and she captivates everyone in the room and she does not even open her mouth? But you feel her energy. You feel her light. You see it on her. It's just the essence. It's just the aura. It's just the glow. It's just there. That's a woman that commands respect. See, these are the type of women, when they walk into establishments, women, how can I help you? How can I serve you? You know how, this is how a lot of women make their enemies even their footstool. I can't tell you how many places that I have walked into or spaces that I've walked into where I know that the conversation before I entered into the room was in regard to me with a few people in that room. But when I walked in that room, my essence and my presence commanded respect. They straightened up, they adjusted, and I didn't have to say a word. Baby, when you so real and in tune with yourself, even your enemies have to respect what you got going on. You understand? When you stand in the fullness of yourself and you know how to let the power build with stillness, because you walk into a room and you know how to pull them into your energy, you know how to maneuver, and you let the power build, that's potency. A muse, like I said, is a lady who knows how to leave any experience that does not serve her. Understand that men respect the women that leave. Huh? That's why they always looking for them when they gone. Even when they with the next one, they still looking for you. Huh? Will even make the next one do things and wear things to imitate the energy of you. Huh? Y'all better recognize. Better recognize the power of being a muse, sweetheart. I'm telling you. Potent. So potent that you penetrate the subconscious to the point to where when you leave, decide to leave the experience, hey lovey, you still have an imprint over there that they can't shake. That's muse energy. That's muse energy. That's aligning with the truth of who you are. Because real muses don't play about themselves. They understand that they are daughters of the Creator. They understand the power in the kingdom that is within them, and they do not settle for less. And they do not stay in experiences that serve them, because they understand the experiences that don't serve them means that they can't serve the nurture that they normally serve, which means that they have to operate differently than they normally would. And why would I alter myself just to deal with you? I will dismiss you first. Good night. Stay loud. Why would I do that? Makes no sense. Okay? So like I said, the persona of the woman who isn't in her muse energy is trying to over deliver so that she can be worth it. She chases credibility through doing. Okay? But the only person in masculine form or in man form, okay, that is going to be impressed by your doing is the one that's in his being. And being is feminine. So they're looking for you to do for them. And this is how women get caught up in the cycle of you doing for a man just for him to be there. Just for him to be there, be present. These are the things that they don't pay attention to. So the second shift has to be from proof to potency immediately. The third shift has to take you from performance to embodiment. Okay? Yes, I feel like these men have mother wounds and want to turn the woman into other women. A lot of them do. I think that, and I'm glad that you said that. Here's something I think that humans need to understand. Not just men, but humans. Because women do the same thing to me when it comes down to daddies. And even if you didn't have a dad, or you have some issue with abandonment, you have this idea of what the man in your life should be because you didn't have XYZ. And I think a lot of women don't realize that. And I think how humans don't realize, whether your parent was there or not, there's still a template there. And it could be built from programming. It could be built from a multitude of things, right? So it's so important. So vital, she said. That's why I had to hear from her. Completely understandable. I think that humans don't realize that the parent-child relationship, especially the mother-child relationship, is a very unconditional love dynamic, right? It is the unconditional love dynamic. And I think that because when you are a parent to a child, you have a level of patience, you have a level of understanding, you have a level of long suffering that comes with you being with that child. And the warped part about what happens is that we don't prepare our children when they grow into adulthood for them to understand that no one is going to love you with that type of love. In that I carried you. So the love that I have for you, the long suffering that I have for you, the patience that I have for you, and all of these things come from you came from me, right? If you are a mother with a son, it needs to be very clear that when you leave here and you deal with other women, they are not required to love you the way that I loved you and the way I love you. And I think that this is the conversations that fathers need to have with daughters and what moms need to have with sons. Because people go into relationships, specifically marriages, believing that people are going to have this unconditional love for you that does not exist in those type of relationships. You understand? When you even go to the biblical, thank you, my love, for these gifts, the biblical forms of love, none of those speak specifically to that. It's different. So what people have to understand is that human beings are conditional. If you are not treating me in a way to where I feel safe, I may not stay with you because I am not feeling safe. My life or my peace, which is a threat to, when my peace is disrupted, it's a threat to my life. So I'm not required to stick it out with you, like I was your mother. I'm not required. Just like same thing with a man. Just because if your father was not there and you have this idea of what a man should do based on whatever you're using, I'm not required to fix that or fill that position or deal with the brunt of you giving me that because he wasn't there. You understand? And I think a lot of people really get that really confused, and they go into marriage with this very backwards, very false perception of how things are supposed to go or what love actually is. Okay? So that's something that's really important to really kind of like pay attention to, because, and it even goes into shift 3 because people are expecting like a performance based on the programming you think a good husband or a good wife should be, when in reality, you don't really know. You don't really know. Because if people really knew and figured it out, we wouldn't have as many divorces. We wouldn't have these many things going on like this. Okay? So these are the things that we really have to pay attention to that are really important. So shift number 3, from performance to embodiment, okay? The persona, when it comes down to embodiment, knows the right image and the right message to say to get people to buy in, right? The muse, though, she lives in her truth. And she lives in her truth so deeply that it influences others effortlessly. It's one of those things, like, for example, if you saw a woman who was telling you everything about working out, tell me, and I'm giving you 2 options. You can put 1 or 2 in the comments. The first lady, let's say you were seeking, health advice, and these were things that you wanted to learn. You wanted to really learn about body recomp, and you wanted to learn about nutrition, and you wanted to learn about fat loss, right? So imagine going to meet with the person that you were talking about fat loss with, nutrition, and body recomp with, and the person you met in front of you when you finally did your face-to-face does not look like they do body recomp, does not look like they follow nutrition, okay? How would you feel about signing up with that person versus if you went to meet with someone else who was teaching you about body recomp, was teaching you about nutrition, teaching you about all those things, and you saw that person and you can see the results that they've gotten from body recomp. You can see the results that they've gotten from nutrition. You can see the things that they've gotten from being able to do this work. Which one are you signing up with, 1 or 2? Two being the one who looks the part, who you can tell, see the results. And the other one, number one, who literally is telling you all the information. She's telling you all the right stuff. Everything she's telling you is right. Everything she's telling you is literally by the book. The number one girl. Everything. But the number two girl is the one who literally looks like she's doing these things. So again, that's what I'm talking about when it comes down to performance and embodiment. The one that you see, it looks like she's living her truth so deeply that her influence is effortless, because you're looking at her body like, yeah, girl, I want to sign up tomorrow. Sign me up right now. Actually, sign me up now. You did that to you? Okay, sign me up right now. Give me 14 of them right now. That's the type of energy you're going to be coming on, because her influence is so effortless. Meanwhile, this lady over here, though, she's telling you everything, and everything she's saying is right. There's no evidence. You will know them by their fruit. So this is why this is very, very important for you to really understand that, okay? The muse doesn't chase. The muse chooses. And everything she chooses expands. All right? Let's talk about the cost of ignoring your inner muse to keep playing this role. If you stay as the persona, the shadows that we talk about, you will outgrow yourself. You'll keep producing, but you'll stop creating. Okay? You'll have more followers, but less influence. You'll keep making money, maybe, but you'll never feel safe enough to sit down and rest. You always feel like you have to keep doing stuff. And worst of all, the longer you wait, when it comes down to this, the harder it will become to even hear your inner voice anymore. Okay? This is why I created the Muse Activator, the 8-week program. So women could activate their inner muse and operate as the sources of inspiration that they are. Because why would you want to do anything else? Because it costs you too much. So during this time frame, this is what we do in the 8-week program. And the program is, I have a cohort right now that's about to get ready to graduate. And then I have my next cohort that's starting the week of the 31st, okay? The first thing that's going to happen is we're going to stabilize your nervous system so you stop running on urgency. Number one. The second thing we're going to do is build out those boundaries to protect your energy without losing your warmth. The reason why women get bitter is because they don't protect themselves. The reason why women get bitter is because they don't protect their own heart. And they keep taking heart hits. And eventually the heart hardens. So what I teach you in week 2 is to be able to build boundaries that literally protect your warmth. Your feminine energy, your warmth is a big part of your essence. Okay? The third week, what we do is that we step into embodied. The embodied space of it is you stop performing and stepping into the fullness of your feminine authority. Okay? Then we go into expanding your voice and your influence without pushing, teaching you how to build up and how to be powerful without having to be all, because it's not necessary. Teaching you how to create soft structures that hold your next level without you having to hustle at all. Okay? And then we also seal it in with full activation of your new standard. So in those 8 weeks, this is where the woman reclaims, or the woman behind the success reclaims herself, and she finally knows how to lead and love and earning and know how to live without losing herself, because too many women are out here with all of these roles and you are not connected to yourself. You lost yourself. You lost the plot. You lost the plot. We start, like I said, August 31st. This is very, very, very intimate, high touch work. So spots are limited. I already have 2 spots that's already filled. I think I'm opening up for maybe, I said I was only going to do 4, but I think I may extend it to maybe like 5. Okay, so I got like 3 more spots in this. So if you're ready to stop performing and start embodying, this is going to be your moment to do it in the Muse Activator, okay? So waiting is only going to reinforce the patterns that we've been talking about. And those patterns are burning you out of your own destiny. I don't know any other way to say that, just to be 100% honest. The program is $2K. You can get a recliner, firm, and afterpay. You can pay $500 to hold your spot. If you're in a position to where you know you need to be in community and you need to get this information and you need to soften, or you want to start softening into the work without stepping fully into the Muse Activated, you can come into the Sacred Feminine League, okay? The Sacred Feminine League is my private feminine center. You can get it. It's mentorship, live, bi-weekly, voice guidance. We have our own Telegram group. It's absolutely amazing. It will bring you back into your rhythm. The women who have been in that community for a month and a half have told me their lives have changed so much just by being in that community. The women in the Muse Activator have been able to activate some serious things in their lives since being in this program, being in that program. Okay? So the Sacred Feminine League is $197 a month. You can cancel at any single time, at any time. Thank you, Lovey. The Sacred Feminine League you can cancel at any time is $197 a month. You get bi-weekly meetings with me, and then you also get vault videos that are dropped. So this week is an off week for the league. I meet with them next week, and so this week, tomorrow, they're going to get their vault drop for the week. That's a video. The video normally is anywhere in between 10 to 20 minutes, and then we have our live sessions. A lot of the women who are in the Sacred Feminine League truly have been really seeing themselves come into full alignment with some things, and I'm really, really, really excited about it. I love the women in that community, and I love the women in the Muse Activator. So if you're interested in either of those, you can click the link in the bio to get more information. If the only thing is that I think if you want to pay the deposit to hold your spot for the Muse Activator, you have to DM me the word START, because I have to send you a special link, because the link that's in the bio is only going to take you to pay if you want to do Klarna Affirm Afterpay on the full $2,000. But yeah, any questions before I get ready to get off here? Because I gotta go. Any questions? Like I said, I'm going to be really diving deep into a lot of stuff. So if you're in my community, our communities, I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about some great stuff. I got so much stuff coming that is crazy. Really going to be diving deep into biblical energetics. Going to be diving deep into biological energy science and how it impacts you. I'm going to be going into identity, just a lot of depths, because where we're going and where we are, y'all need to be able to know how to quantum jump. Y'all need to be able, like, we're in a season where it's Kairos time, and I know it seemed like it's a down season, but I'm telling y'all, it's also a very up season if you paying attention. So if you've been managing, if you can manage your chronological time proper, at least for the rest of this year, you can position yourself, because it's going to be some up and down, but it's going to be some ups. And you want to be ready for those ups, okay? What questions do you guys have for me, if any? If none, then I will see y'all next week, Lord willing. Click the link in my bio to be able to get access to any of my courses and services. If you are a reader, and that is your thing, and you like knowledge, you like sacred knowledge, you might want to become a paid member of my Substack. You can become a free member, or you can become a paid member. The paid members really get their knowledge, okay? The paid members really get they get the how to do these things. You learn what and maybe why in the free versions, which is still very valuable information that you need to know so that you can make some differences. What I will tell you is that a lot of women have been able to see a lot of difference from watching my lives and watching my content on YouTube and all these different type of things. But I can tell you firsthand, you will not experience real transformation outside of working with me. I'm just being honest. You will see some things happen, but if you're not in community with me, like the women that are in community with me, lives are changing. Women make more money. Women are able to travel. Women are able to do the things that they need to do for themselves. Which program, Lovey? Which one? The community or the 8-week program? Women are able, have healed their bodies. Women have lost a lot of weight. Women have been able to attract better partners and communities and friendships. When you come into the Muse Activator, if you want that option, you could be paired with an accountability partner, which is very powerful because you get so many different tools and things that I show you. If you're talking about the Muse Activator, you can read about it in a link in my bio. If you're talking about the Sacred Feminine League, you can read that as well in my bio. Okay? I have been in some of your classes, so helpful. All praises to the Most High. Thank you, Lovey. But yeah, and I also have courses and different things in my bio. And if you want some courses and things in my bio, you might want to look at them because I'm actually about to make some changes and some different things to them because I'm streamlining some things and kind of setting it up. So if you're into reading and you want more sacred feminine knowledge, get on my Substack. My Substack is $22 a month, $222 for the year, $250 if you want the founder series that comes in with the seduction series, that really teaches you about seduction. Every woman should understand seduction. The reason why y'all keep getting played too is because y'all don't understand seduction. You need to understand seduction. You need to understand where it came from, the sword, all these things. And when you understand that, you won't be the one that's consistently being seduced, sweetie. You won't be the one that's consistently being played with. But that, to get that, like I said, it's $250. You click the link in the bio to sign up for Substack. They're going crazy over there. I've only been on Substack for a month, and I've already hit 100 followers on Substack, which I was very shocked. So I'm really, really excited. And I got some paid members over there, so I'm really, really excited about that as well. So yeah, I'm not seeing any questions. I'm going to let y'all go. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing Feminine Fly Woman Friday. I'm coming. Yes, I'm excited. I told myself I'm not doing another class. I'm getting activated. Yes, come on in, hun. Come on in. Come on in. We would love to have you. I think it would be a really group. The women that are coming into this next round, too, are some amazing, powerful women. So I know that you would fit in very well with these women. They are making some moves, and specifically the women that are coming into the next cohort, they're both going through like great, wonderful, beautiful life transition. So I really think that you coming into that space will be really, really good for you. I think that's going to be a good cohort. I'm only doing 2 more cohorts of the Muse Activator before the year is out. So if you want in, this is the best time to get in. This one, the next one starts on the 31st, and then it's going to be 1 more after that, okay? You can start with your deposit of $500 if you want to do that, or you can do Klarna Affirmative Afterpay and pay it in full. But if you want the deposit, DM me the word START so I can send you a special link for that. But yeah, I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing Friday. Yes, this is going to go up on YouTube. I'm going to start doing more stuff on YouTube soon too, because TikTok is going to be, right? So make sure that you're on my email list, you're on my Substack, you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to be able to continue to get content, okay? So, all right, y'all, I'm gone. Y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Peace, y'all.